What's up, everybody? This is your man, DJ Square Knot, and you're listening to the DJ Information Group. And we have a special treat today. We have the legendary Cheryl the Pearl of the Sequence here with us. And she's going to drop some ballistics. She's going to kick the ballistics with us and just drop all kinds of knowledge on us. Take us all the way back to the beginning and bring us all the way to the present day. Welcome. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you for inviting me on, and thank everyone that's here and listening and have questions. I pray that I'll answer them to the best of ability. What I can remember. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So, of course, the first thing that everybody is gonna, I probably I've watched a lot of your interviews. I've read your bios. I've looked at your work, and the question always comes up about the very beginning.
Right.
Explain to us, because for some of us who may not have that knowledge, you could put us in the know. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about the sequence and how everything started.
Okay. Me, Angie, and Blondie, we all grew up in basically the same communities. Um, we went to the same high schools, middle schools, and Blondie and Angie went to the same church. I went to a different church. All through high school, we were involved in everything that we could do to stay out of trouble and to make our family proud. So we were in pageants, we were in talent shows. In school, we were cheerleaders. We played basketball, softball. We kept ourselves busy, did pageants at Benedict College, and any type of thing that had anything to do with talent. We just had a natural thing for it. Uh, we heard that Miss Robinson from the Sugar Hill Gang, Sugar Hill Records, they were coming to Columbia, South Carolina, and this guy that was managing us, or called himself managing us at the time, said he had us some backstage passes to get in so that we could meet the Sugar Hill Gang and we could tell them we could out rap them and what was going to happen, well, it ended up happening anyway. But we got there. There was no tickets, of course. There was no backstage passes. And we was out there. We kept telling them, you gotta look. But Harold Miles, God bless his soul, was the Sugar Hill Gang road manager at the time. And he walked over to the door and said, what's going on? Why y'all still out there? And we said, we're supposed to have these backstage passes. They won't let us in. He took a liking to Andy, so he started playing around with Andy then. And said, you going to get us in? And he said, yeah, come on. She said, you got to get my girls in, too, because we can outbeat them guys rapping. And he said, come on, I'll take y'all back there. He had the Sugar Hill jacket on and the passes and stuff. So he took us backstage, and he introduced us to Nate Edmond, who was another producer slash band member of the Sugar Hill Gang. And he told him that we said we could beat the guys rapping. And he said, okay, well, just send me a cassette. And we was like, nah, you can't. We're not sending no cassettes. You got to hear us now. And so Miss Robinson, Sylvia Robinson, who did Pillow Talk, she was sitting in the little room that we were talking to him and was like, we're not sending no cassettes. You got to hear us. And when we said we could beat those guys rapping, she said, I'll listen to you. At the time, we didn't realize that this was Sylvia who did Pillow Talk, because like a mentor to me is somebody that I looked up to, but I didn't recognize her because she was dressed down. She didn't have her makeup and stuff on, and she was just traveling. And so we got back there, and we started singing. We sing and rap. We do funk stuff. She said, okay. So we started singing a couple songs, and it didn't hit her right away. And then as we were walking out, I said, we didn't do Funk You Up. And she said, come on back in here and do it. And so got there and started singing, "Oh, funk you right on up. We're going to funk you right on up." She just looked at us, "You right on up. Said, funk you right on up." Said, "Get up, get 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 up. Sit back down." She said, "Stop." And she said, "Y'all say y'all beat guys rapping?" And we said, "Yes, ma'am." And so she said, "Okay, Blondie, let me hear you." Gwen, when my name was Gwen, is what they call me, Blondie. I'm better known as one and only. I'm 5'2", built so fine, 36, 26, 36 down. She said, "Stop." She said, "You go, Cheryl." They call me Cheryl, and I'll tell you what, 'cause I got such sexy bedroom. Now, when I pop them out, you look surprised. I got you, and you're hypnotized. She said, "Stop." And then she said, "Come in, Angie." Angie B is the what to say. Got chocolate hips and the Milky Way. And I feel like a millionaire in space. Flying on the go-kart with the silver lace. Everybody calls me never wrong. 'Cause I'm a freestyle freak with the phone. She said, "Stop." She said, "Stop." She said, "Somebody go get the band." Now, the band, she called the bass player in, which is Doug Wimplish. She called Skip McDonald, who was a guitar player, and Keith LeBlanc was our white boy. He was a white boy, but he was funky, and he was on the drums. He was, he came in. They came in the room. And then she said, "Start singing again," and we started singing, and before you know, it was like this great big jam session. Everybody was running in there to see what was going on, and she had the smile on her face like, "I found the three to go with the three." And so after that, everybody was excited. It was time for the Sugar Hill Gang to go on. We asked her, could we go on stage with them? She said, "Yeah, let me see what y'all gonna do." So of course we're dancers and we're out there dancing. We got microphones and we know the song by heart, so we're singing along with them. And then after that, when we came off the stage, and they were getting packed up, she said, "Listen," she said, "I'm going to make you girls stars." She said, "I'm going to sing for y'all next Friday. You talk to your parents, see if it's all right. You come up and we're going to record this song right here." And we said, "For real? Don't just say that. People come through telling you all kind of stuff, But she said, "No, I'm dead serious." She said, "Who number do I call?" So we told her to call Blondie's number because Blondie had a study job at that time and she could get to the phone quicker than we all could. I was in school, Angie was in school. And she said, "I'll call you guys that Thursday, and your tickets will be there." And so now we got to go home. We all excited. People in our hometown seen us on stage with the Sugar Hill Gang, so they just like blowing it out of the waters. We got to talk our parents into letting us go. At that time, Angie was 17, still in high school. She didn't get to graduate that year. I was 18, turning 19. But the night that we met the Sugar Hill Gang, which is why the sequence, the things that go along with our combination is Blondie turned 20 October the 20th. That's the year we went to see the Sugar Hill Gang. I turned 19 November the 19th. That's when we first heard the record on the radio. And Angie turned 18, December the 18th. We met with the Sugar Hill Gang, and the rest is history. We went all the way with them. We started traveling, and it took us a minute to get back home. The sequence is 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. We had different types of combinations that was in that particular year. And I think that's the reason why we was like, it's in sequence. Everything is falling in line or whatever. And but we got there, Ms. Robinson. We talked our parents. We had to talk them into it. Blondie said she's 20, she's going. I'm turning 19. I'm 18, but I'm still up under my mother's roof and my grandparents. And so I'm like, Mom, I asked my grandma, can you please talk to my mother and tell her that I want to do this? She said, you in school. What are you going to do about school? I had a scholarship at Legendary College. I said, I can always go back to school, but this is what I want to do. And she said, okay, I'll talk to your mother. And my grandfather, he was sitting there. He always kept his ears open, but he wouldn't say much. And so when my grandmother and my mom's did talk, they said my grandfather stepped in and said, let her go. If it don't work, she can always come back home. But she got to go and try. And so they agreed to let me go. Then me and Blondie had to go and talk to Angie's mother and father and see if we could let her know that we're going to all be looking out for each other. We're not going to let nothing happen to Angie. But this is the chance of a lifetime that's been offered to us. Then they said, let's wait and see if they're going to send the tickets. And so that Thursday, she called Blondie and told her the tickets was there and gave her the number. And Blondie called and checked and showed me the tickets and everything was there. And so she said, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And we said, okay, excited. And so we were able to show Angie's mother and father that the tickets were there. If it doesn't work out for us, I have aunts and uncles that lived in East Orange, New Jersey. Angie had aunts, her Aunt Bernice, and they lived in Brooklyn. And my Uncle Tim, he lived in Harlem. So if things would have gotten out of hand, we knew to call our relatives and they would come get us. But it didn't happen. Once we got off the plane, we went to the studio. Miss Robinson, everybody was there, the band, everybody was, happy to see us. She told Harold to take us to the hotel so we could take our suitcases back to the hotel. And it was $100 a piece to get something to eat. And then we got something, came back with the McDonald's with $100 bills. But got the McDonald's, went back to the studio, got in there with the band and started rehearsing the song and singing it down. And then they basically had it because they had been rehearsing all week with the song from what they heard us doing in South Carolina. So they cut the tracks, Doug, Skip, and Keith. And then we went in to do the vocals. After we did the vocals, Miss Robinson she used to like to take the tape and put across the board, and that meant for nobody to touch that board. So she would be in there working on different things, having Keith do different things with the drum sounds and actually mixing as she go along. When we got out the studio after we finished that night, everybody was happy with what we had done. We thought, this is it. We finished. It sounds good. When we walked outside, it was night when we walked in. It was like 12 or 1 o'clock the next day when we walked out, and the sunlight was up. She told Harold to take us to the hotel, let us get some rest, and we will meet back down to the studio like 8 o'clock. And so we did that. When we came back in, where we thought we were finished, we weren't. We had to put hand claps on. Today, y'all have the machines to do the claps and different things for you. But back then, we had to, I think Funk You Up was 10 minutes long. We had to do those claps 3 times all the way out the tracks. We thought that she was messing up the song. We was like, you're going to mess our song up with this. And she said, no, wait to hear it when we finish it. So she did that. She kept the board up. She kept mixing. The song kept coming along. Everybody was loving it. Everybody was in there dancing to it. And she would smile. She had a smile on her face so big. And she said the Sugar Hill, she used to say the Sugar Hill Gang and the Sugar Hill Girls. But when we say no, we're the Sequence. She said, okay, but they're going to call y'all the girls, the Sugar Hill Girls. So after that, like I said, they put the music out. Once we went on the road with the Sugar Hill Gang, we traveled around the Cameo, Confunction, the Gap Band, so many different groups that was out during that time, funk groups basically. And of course, nobody was liking rap because it was changing things. It was changing things from the norm, what they were used to when they went in concerts. I remember doing one concert with the Gap Band, Charlie Wilson and his brothers, and we were in Tennessee, and it was they sold out. There was no tickets nowhere. We had to fly from Indianapolis to Tennessee to do that concert, and then turn around and go back that night and do the concert in Indianapolis. But the guy was so nasty to us as we were coming in, and we was like, how much time do we have? You got 10 minutes. And we said, we need more than 10 minutes. He said, well, that's what you're going to get, and if you don't want that, get off my stage. And we was looking at this man like he was crazy because, nobody has ever talked to us like that. So we was like, okay, well, we're not going to disrespect you, but, you'll see. So we went on that stage, and we did Funk You Up, and we didn't even get a chance to really sing the song because there you had 30,000 people singing word from word, Funk You Up. And we would just come in and out and look at each other and amazed that this is happening and this is happening to us. And so now all the shows that we're going on are sellouts. So Charlie hit us back when we did the show in Indianapolis. The next day, he said, why did y'all do that? Why did y'all do that? We got him so crunk that when we stepped off the stage, we did Funk You Up and Tear the Roof Off, because we had the guys saying, turn this mother out, girls saying, we don't need no music. We turned and the drummer stayed up. We walked off the stage, and then the drummer dropped out and came off the stage. The rest of the band was off the stage. We were getting in the van to go, in the limousine to go back to the airport to get on these little small jet planes they had for us to go back to the next concert. And so as we were going, you could still hear them like 6, 7, 8 blocks down the line. You could still hear them in the Coliseum saying, turn this brother out, we don't need no music. And it went on and on until it faded. I had never heard nothing like that in all the days of my life. I had never seen nothing like what I saw at that particular concert. It blew my mind. Being 19, 18, 19, and, doing talent shows, doing all of this other stuff, but never up against this many people that is singing your song. So we continued to travel. Charlie Wilson said, why did y'all do that? It took a whole hour to calm those people down. So hip-hop was just a little bit different than the funk music that they were doing because of crowd participation, throw your hands in the air. People were getting excited. They loved the music back then, so they knew your song. They knew it from beginning to the end. And so we continued to travel. We came back to Sugar Hill, back and forth to Sugar Hill, which is in Englewood, New Jersey. We would come back in, then 2 or 3 days, we'd go back out. Then we were doing like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We may have Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday rehearsal, back on the road working like that. So
You
my
are
time, yeah,
definitely
my time.
putting in the work, that's for sure.
Yeah, you had to do your part, and like I tell people, it was not easy all the time because we would go places and people would see us getting off the bus and they would close their doors. They didn't want to feed us, so we would have to get on the bus, go to another town. Hopefully, we could find a deli or something open that would allow us to come in and eat. One time the police came up and said you can't eat in this particular place, so we had to come out of that and keep going, you know. But overall, it was a lot of fun because after we traveled so long with the Sugar Hill Gang, we're the first females to team up with the Sugar Hill Gang on Jam Jam. And the only other person we did work with Spoonie G and the West Street Mob. So the sequence was a little bit all over the board at that time with doing collabs with different people. I'm pretty sure if the company would have stayed together, they would have found a way to match and do other things with the artists. We came back. Miss Robinson made me the head of her A&R department to listen to new music. She felt like I had a ear for hit music. So she would play things for me that others couldn't hear until she was ready for them to hear it. And so she said she wanted me to do the A&R work for her and to listen to the music and if I hear something that's hitting, you know, to bring it so she can hear it. And say, yes, ma'am. So I would go there. When we weren't on the road, I would go there. I would listen to cassettes after cassettes after cassettes. Mo D, he used to come and sit up there with me. I said, Mo, why do these people send some of this stuff is just like straight up garbage? But every now and then you'll get something that got a little something to a little fight, but not much. When she called me about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, I think the Funky Four, the Treacherous Three, Crash Crew, Busy Bee, Spoonie G, I think it was Wayne and Charlie. All of them was on this one cassette. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. She calls me and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm sitting up here writing, can't sleep. And so she said, I'm sending Earl, which was her nephew, down to pick you up. I want you to hear something. I said, okay. So I got dressed and went out, waited on Earl, went back to her house, and she was in her kitchen. She have a boom box always in her kitchen area when she's listening to her music because she's cooking you something to eat too. She's cooking codfish and she's cooking some Jamaican dish that she was really a great cook. She's cooking grits and you know she liked to try to talk Southern like the sequence. Got some grits, some eggs, you know, and she got a kick out of that. So she said, Cheryl, I want you to hear this. Sit down. And she said, I said, okay. And so when I heard it, I had heard it before in this limousine we were in over in New York called OJ. This lady played it for me, that same cassette. And so I'm listening to it again, and I'm like, I like them, they're hot. And she said, what do you think? What should I do? I said, you should sign them. You should sign them, and then all of us could be right here at Sugar Hill, and it makes the company even bigger. She said, yeah, but I done got so used to the Sugar Hill Gang and y'all. She said, I don't know if I can do all of them. I said, Miss Rob, come on. You know you're gonna get them guys to come over here, and you got a hot house. Ain't nobody else doing what we're doing right now. The only other person that came out with any form of rap record at that time was the Fatback Band with King Tim III. That's the first rap record I ever heard. And then the Sugar Hill Gang. So with the sequence in our particular song, Funk You Up is the first original, I think, rap record. Everybody else basically did it. There's two other people's music, but Funk You Up was an original rap record, 12-inch, sold 500,000 copies in 3 weeks. We didn't have what they have now, the videos and the outlets with the different TV stations. Back then, you only had Soul Train. I think Joe and I can't think of his name now. I've got it. Dawn Cornelius. They let the Sugar Hill Gang come on, but they wouldn't let the sequence come on, and Joe would pay them what they want. So that was a whole big mess. But life goes on. We continue to work. Once I heard the cassette again, and I advised her to sign them. And she said, okay, sure. She said, I'm going to listen some more, but she's dancing and she's feeling good. I said, that's feel-good music right there. That's always going to get the stuff you hear right there. And they got identifiable voices. You can hear each one of them. You know KK Rockwell, you know Spoonie G. Everybody who came from that era has a different vocal tone, so you know them when you hear them. Mm-hmm. And so she said, okay, I stayed the night there that morning rather, because it was going in the morning. We ate. I went upstairs and I fell asleep in one of her rooms. When I came back down, it was like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. She had Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 in the kitchen. And so when I came through, I'm like, I got to go to the studio because I got to go work on some things. So I saw them in there, and she said, this is Cheryl The Pearl. And they all smile, and they all say, hi, Cheryl. And I said hi to everybody. She said, this is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. It's nice to meet you guys. I love your music. And she said, yeah, we're sitting and we're talking now, Cheryl. I said, okay. I said, well, I got to bounce. We'll be back. I'll be at the studio if you need me. And I jumped in the cab and left. The next day we had to get on the road and go back out with the Sugar Hill Gang. By the time we came back in, she had signed to all of the groups that I heard on the cassette. And everybody was recording now. So now it's competitive. Everybody is competing to come out with that #1 record. And we were all we had to compete with. Well, we had a Sugar Hill at the time. And so the Sugar Hill Gang got Rappers Delight, the Sequence got Funk You Up, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 got Freedom. Sugar Hill Gang come back with Eighth Wonder, Sequence come back with Ted Roof Off. Mel Nam come back with Happy Birthday, and it just kept going in circles. Then Kumo D and the Treacherous Street, Yes We Can. It just kept going. The Funky Four, that's the Joint, the Crash Crew, Rocking on Your Radio. It just kept coming. Everybody was coming with their best material. And we're having fun out there on the road. We had a lot of fun. The money that we was making back then was good for that time on the road. Now, the bad part about Sugar Hill Records were the record contracts that we signed. Everybody signed the same deal, and it wasn't a good deal. It wasn't a good deal, and we didn't know any better because we were kids coming straight out of high school, coming straight from our mama's houses into something bigger than life for us. So we didn't know. We just thought maybe, we did the record. She put the record out. We got to sign the papers. The only difference was Angie was still 17 when she signed. And we didn't realize that it was a bad deal until later on down the line. I think little Rodney Steve was dating Angie at the time. So Ronnie is very knowledgeable of a lot of things in the industry. And so he was pulling Angie's code and telling Angie, this is what they're doing, this is not right, da 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 da. My uncle out in East Orange had me bring him my contract, and he saw the contract and he said, I said, we just got an advance, we got a check, and check's like 6,000 and some change. But again, I'm a teenager, $6,000 is a lot of money to me at that time. And my uncle said, y'all supposed to be getting $100,000 apiece. And
Wow.
so when we went back, and when I went back to Englewood, I told Angie and Blondie what my uncle said, and so they was like, well, we got to go and see what Miss Robinson said. So when we went to them, and I said, my Uncle Fonzo is a mathematic genius. He looked at my paperwork and said that me and Angie and Blondie supposed to get $100,000 apiece, and that upset her, and it upset her husband, Joe. He said, why are you gonna come in here and tell you this, that, and the other, da 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 da, and and basically, looking at me because now I'm in the hot seat, and if you don't want to be here with this company, we can send you back to South Carolina, and we can put somebody else in that place. Because again, remember, we're only selling 12-inch records. Nobody know what we look like.
Right.
Don't have a clue of what we look like back then. We hadn't done albums yet, just 12 inches. And so that kind of scared me. It scared Angie and it scared Blondie. And we walked away and said, hey, what can we do? Well, we're in it now. We can't do nothing but keep doing good music. Hopefully it pay off in the long run, or, somebody come through and rescue us. And, when we started looking for lawyers were scared to touch the case. They were scared to get involved. So that kind of left, like this thing like, ain't nobody going to help us, But as life went on, as y'all can see, it's over. Being Angie would fuck you up and tear the roof off. That was Parliament. And of course, also, I got to go back and say, P-Funk also, to me, was a part of an era where rap was coming in, because I used to take my needle and go back and write every word that is P-Funk. Make my funk the P-Funk. I want to get funked up. I want the bomb. Hey, welcome to WEFUNK. We Funk, a deeper still mothership connection, home of the extraterrestrial brother. Give a funky music. P-Funk, uncut for the bomb. That was a form of rap to me, too. And I knew that all the way through, that whole song from the beginning to the end. So when we started twisting words and being able to do different things with the words, it come from some people that, that inspired us.
Right.
The funk inspired us from Parliament Funkadelics, Bootsy Collins, Rick James. This is the type of music we grew up on. Confunction, the Gap Band, Larry Graham, Bohanna, the type of music we were jamming to. I would say between 74, 73, 74, all of that different style of music is jammed up in us. So we're able to express it through our music and the things that we want to do. I pray one day God will let us get back together, if it ain't but one more time, to come and put some new music out there as a sequence. But y'all have any questions? I mean, y'all.
Yeah, we have a whole panel of DJs here, and I'm quite sure they'll definitely want to ask some questions. And I know through the course of our conversations back and forth over the past couple of weeks, you have shared with me several artists who have basically sampled at some point, Funk You Up or
Yeah,
another, your other tracks. And so that was pretty interesting. The multitude
yeah.
of artists
It's,
that
yeah,
that actually happened with. So um,
I think
that's pretty awesome.
we derivatives. I don't know all of the people that have touched the song. Just main people like Dr. Dre would keep their heads ringing. Erica Badu and Angie and all of them did a Funk You Up verse. Um, Jennifer Lopez, she did a song called "I'm Gonna Be Alright" where they sampled from Eighth Wonder. Busta Rhymes sampled from Eighth Wonder. Ooh, I got them all in check. Master P sampled from Eighth Wonder. Dun, 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 dun. And he
Hmm.
didn't. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. So all are pieces of the work uh, that we did at Sugar Hill.
Well, at least that just uh, proves that your music is continuing. Even though over because that song "Funk You Up" that came out, and I think what was it, '79 or something like that,
Yeah.
and people are
Yeah.
still touching that till this day. So it's a timeless piece of art that you guys were able to release. You guys definitely were out doing your thing, and you guys were traveling with some of the biggest names back then. And
Yeah.
you guys being the only female rap group at that particular time, and the first, and being able to turn around and in 3 weeks pretty much go to gold,
Yeah.
that's super super huge. Of course, like you mentioned there about the record deals, it's just one of those things where the industry is notorious for being crooked.
Yeah.
And back then you don't have all the help and everything like you do with the people now. So
I,
totally understand that. Totally understand that. But you have come forward, and every time let me tell you, every time someone mentions Cheryl the Pearl, people light up. That
yeah.
everyone knows who you are. So
Oh,
you definitely
yeah.
have an impact. The sequence has definitely had an impact on
Thank
hip hop history and
you.
everything that we have learned in our ages of coming up. As DJs, artists, MCs. Just you've talked about some names where some of us as DJs, when we started, we were using those records and scratching on those different records. So, so you definitely are definitely in that period, and you and Sequence as a whole definitely are part of that whole team, that whole division. I would say that definitely had that impact and inspiration for us. So now
Thank you.
as you move forward and you are now doing your thing on your own, you have your own company.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My company name is Black Bottom Entertainment.
Hmm.
Um, and over the years, I've put music out and I've taken it back. I've put something out there and I take it back. I say not ready yet. But this particular song I have out now is up on the My label and Culture Zone,
Hmm.
Shaka Akul. It's distributed through Sony and Archer. And
Yeah.
it's we're putting it out there and seeing um, what happens with it. I think it's a great R&B song. I love writing R&B and B and hip hop, so I kind of mix it up a little bit. But this one here is an R&B song, so I decided to put my music out up under my label because I don't want them telling me how to be an artist. I don't want them directing my life or my future. I'd rather take it all in my own hands. If I get $50, I got $50 million. That's I work hard for it. I
Right.
put in. I don't just sit home. I take care of my moms. But when I'm not, she's relaxed and watching her TV and things. I'm on my my phone, basically pushing my own stuff. They're helping me to push. There's several friends on my page. They share the music, and I appreciate that. Um, but I have a lot of DJs in my clique also
Mm-hmm.
um, that I send to, or I send for their email information, and I send and tell them to check their mail so that they can get it from us. Uh, it's open right now for me. Right now, I'm still stepping in the waters, but I have a lot of artists that's coming along with this company that, I just want to make sure if they do right by me, then they're going to do right by them. I don't want anybody to get taken advantage of. I
Right.
don't mess with people publishing. They keep their publishing. That's their identity. That's their work. I only get like 50% of the sales. If we can sell it, we can make some money that way, then, they break me off, which helps me promote and push even further. Um, but as far as their publishing, because our publishing was taken from us, I would never do that to anyone,
I hear
you
you
know.
on that. So,
Yeah.
and one of the things that I want to share with you is that we have a DJ here, and he's out of H Town, and
Uh-huh.
and we were listening to your song, and
Mhm.
he was listening to it, and, clicking through, and he was like, "Man, this has a Southern soul touch as well." So where you all have that, where you're talking about just R&B, your
Right.
your song has the potential to cross over into the Southern soul. So I was like, okay,
Oh,
and
boy.
we talked about it. So we have a Southern soul DJ that
Right.
we are in contact with, um, and I sent the song to her, and she said
Okay.
she loved it, and she
Okay.
says I could definitely run this, in my lineup on my
Right.
station. So I was like, that's really really cool. So
Okay.
that's something that she'll be doing, just to
Right.
kind of get you out there more. So not only on the R&B stations, but Southern Soul stations too. You will have your music played as well. So,
Thank
and of
you
course,
so much.
and the more Southern Souls DJs we come in contact, we would definitely share that with them, because it's definitely good, feel good music. So we definitely
Thank.
understand where you're going with that.
Okay.
And that was really good. So we really appreciate that. And of
Yes.
course,
Let me this
mhm,
here. We grew up listening to Millie Jackson, Aretha Franklin, me and Andy both the same type of music. Betty Wright, Diana Ross. These are women, my grandmother on the church choir. These are women that also is a part of who I am right now. There's so
right.
much in me, Gladys Knight, all the names go on, Nancy Wilson, Natalie Cole, uh, oh my God, so many, Shirley Murdoch,
Hmm.
Chaka Khan. This is the music that I listen to. So, and I'm going to do one of Millie Jackson's songs over, which I know is Southern Soul. What's that song? Come to me before your friends tell you they can't help you. I'm your woman. I
Hmm.
should be first one to know if you want something, if you need something. I love her work.
Yes.
I admire her. She shocked me when she was on Unsung, and they were asking her who came closest to the style of music that you were doing, and she put the Sequence album cover up there.
Hmm.
That was amazing to me, and I
Wow.
got a opportunity to meet her here in South Carolina, and a cousin of mine who promotes and is around a lot of the entertainers took me and my mom to see her in concert, in which I was just crazy. I'm like, I'm finally old enough to go see Billy Jackson. So I got to meet her, and I asked her, could I do a cover on maybe two of her songs, and she said which one are you talking about? And so I started singing to her and heard her manager just looked at each other and then they looked at me. She said, you can sing any of my songs you want to, Cheryl. I said, thank you so much.
That's
She said, I
beautiful.
took the song out of my show. Now I'm going to put that song right back in my soul because the way I'm hearing you singing, maybe I got to put a little bit more on it. And she said, but she fell in love with it. And I was just amazed because, again, they're all of them, Donna Ross, all of them. They are amazing to me, you know.
Awesome, awesome. So, of course, we've come to this point where, of course, I can continue to ask you questions, but we have a whole panel of DJs
Okay.
that I want to make sure that they get a chance to ask a question. And this first DJ, I will let him start off and kick it all off for us. This is DJ Travis Gales.
Travis Gale.
Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Miss Cheryl The Pearl, how you doing? I'm Travis Gales.
I'm doing fine, Travis. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to speak with you. When the guys told me that they were interviewing tonight, I was so, as Square and I said, I was so excited because you inspired me years
Oh,
ago.
thank you.
When I was about 15 years old, I was out at Carowinds, and
Uh-huh.
my friends came to me and they said, hey, there's a concert tonight, a Sugar Hill Review. And
Right.
I had no idea what the Sugar Hill Review was, but I bought a ticket. That was my
Right.
very first concert I ever went to. That was the first concert I ever went to in my life. I was 15. You guys opened up that night. And
Right.
that's the first time I've ever heard a rap group perform live. That was the first night. That was the first time I heard female rappers rap that night.
Right.
And when we left home, we got on the bus and we were heading home to our hometown. My friends were like, did y'all see them girls rapping, man? We can start a rap group. We can start. And Travis, you're going to be the DJ.
Right.
And that was 40 years ago. And
Yeah.
we left there that day. I left there that day wanting to be a DJ, and I've been a DJ ever since that day I saw you on stage that day.
God bless you. That is amazing.
And it makes me feel so special that tonight I get to tell you that you were my first.
Thank you. Thank you.
This made my night. Thank you very much. Thank you, Square Knot.
You're welcome, my brother.
Thank you. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's a powerful story right there. You inspired. You're definitely a big, powerful inspiration. That's beautiful.
Right. If you came to those concerts, you just had a ball. I mean, you had fun. You bought T-shirts, you bought your posters and stuff, and you went back home safe. There's no fighting and no all kind of other things going on during that time. I just don't remember any bad concerts. All of them, people got home safe, and you did it again. You come back through there again, and you got the same people that come and support you, and it was an amazing ride. It was an
Nice,
amazing.
nice. Indeed, indeed. So now we have DJ Big Dooley. What's up? He's just saying hello and waving at you and saying he appreciates you being here.
So I say hi.
Yeah, he's a little tied up, but he's here for support.
Okay.
Then we got DJ Joe Storm. What's up?
Hey, Cheryl, what's going on?
Ain't nothing, just sitting here chilling and talking with you guys. Y'all want to come here and move? That's the hard work. Yeah.
You have a wonderful spirit.
Thank you.
Only thing I can say is I'm just sitting here just listening to your story and just kind of going back in time in my mind. And
Right.
Y'all, you and Sequence were the mothers of female hip hop. If it wasn't for y'all, there wouldn't have been no like MC Light, no Queen Latifah.
Right.
none of the other people that came after it, if it wasn't, if y'all didn't go in and buff the doors down, and set a path, for
Right.
women MCs to come in, it probably wouldn't have been the way it is now. So I appreciate and I say thank you and salute your contribution to music, not just hip hop, music.
Right. Right. The music, because that's what we music.
Yeah.
We love music. And when people say what females was out there in the beginning, it was just a sequence in the Sugar Hill Gang. We traveled for the longest before anybody else got on the bus. Then Sha Rock from the Funky Four. She was the fourth female. We were the only females that were out there rapping and planting seeds for other females to come through on, and I think we did a great job because it did from our generation, it did produce MC Light, and she said that her mom's bought her 2 records, and the other one she doesn't know what it is, but she remember Funk You Up, hearing Blondie rap, and she said she had a grassy voice, so when she heard Blondie rap, she knew she could do it. Salt and Pepper, we met them, over and over a couple times.
Okay.
They're very with Angie. When they all tell their stories, we in their stories some kind of way. Queen Latifah, all of them. Moni Love, what's the rage? Lady Rage, Yo.
Mm-hmm.
All of them would have come from Rod Digger. They would have come shortly after our debut. We did, I think, from 79 to about 85, 86. And then after that came other females coming aboard and doing their things. Yeah.
Well, all I could say is I'm humbled and I thank you so much for what you and your friends have done, to the world and to music. And
Right.
I look forward to all your other journeys and all your blessings and travels throughout music and life. And God bless you.
God bless you too. And let me say this before you get off. Those records could funk you up, blast off because of the DJs. They didn't want to play our music on radio back then. They played Rappers Delight, but the DJs broke funk you up in the clubs and like in the street parties and house parties and things of that nature. That's why the record broke so fast. Radio started playing it shortly after it became a street buzz, and which was very and on WBLS, God bless his soul, Frankie Crocker broke Funk You Up, and Mr. Magic out of New York. They were the first two with the test pressers, with the test pressers coming straight back from being mastered. Ms. Robinson sent the test pressers to them, and we did an interview with Frankie Crocker. God bless his soul. He was very nice to us. And Mr. Magic. He was a hip-hop man, period. Everybody that was into hip-hop took their music to Magic, and Magic broke it for them, Then they came with the Crew and Roxanne, Shantae, that whole era. What is UTFO?
Yeah, UTFO.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had the Ice Crew, I think it was the Juice Crew, and they started doing their thing, but Mr. Magic was a hot boy there in New York for a minute with what he was doing with hip-hop as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, but the DJs actually broke Funk You Up.
That's a beautiful thing, It's one of those things where, it proves that
I could,
we are definitely an integral part of
yes,
history and how a lot of music got out there, you know. So the culture, the DJ culture, uh,
yes,
put in work. You know, the artists came
yes,
and they asked for the
yes,
help, and we made it happen. You know, and sometimes the artist didn't even ask for the help. The DJ got his hand on it or got her hand on it, and they
thank-
just played it. And next thing you know, it turned into a mega hit. So
yes.
yeah, that's
Because
what the
back
DJ.
then the DJs were a little more approachable.
Yeah,
You could go to them and say, listen to this, and yes, most of the DJs I know and personal friends of mine are on radio, and so I used to like here in Columbia, South Carolina. Prince Ice is my man down here on the Big DM, and years ago I used to could take my records or take friends' records to Prince Ice and he could break it right there. But they don't allow that anymore. I don't know why. The DJ know what's hidden. You know, Joe Robinson taught me, he said, Cheryl, come in my office. You're going to own your own company one day. I'm like 19 years old. Like, what? He said, one day you will have your own company. And he sat me in there. He said, you know who broke your records? And I said, no, the radio, the DJs. He said, DJs break records, Cheryl. He said, radio stations that refuse to play your music, if a DJ like your music and they start playing your music, then they have no other choice but to play your music on radio. So he was trying to tell me to go to the DJs first. So that's why I have a lot of DJs in my list because I'm going to the DJs. DJs go to the people.
yeah, that
You
is
know,
absolutely true, and that's a good
they
way
go
to
to
work that, and we appreciate you, you know, doing that as well. You know, going to us because,
yeah.
like you say, you have so many people that just skip right over us, and we have become like this. These people
I
that
don't
are
see how,
sitting off to the
yeah,
side
I don't see
when
how they
actually
can do that.
we should
I
be your
don't see
first
how they
contact.
can do that. Yeah, because old school DJs, old school, the way that they were breaking records back then, uh, a DJ could take and break your record, play your record. I'd have been right there with Ice. Yo, Ice, I'm coming down to see you. Okay, come on, sure. I go to the station, take him some. I took a Spoonie G record. And he heard Spoonie, he was like, yo, that shit is bad. I said, okay. I said, play that for me. That's from Spoonie up there. And so he was just like breaking records on this end here. Y'all ain't never heard this before. Sure just brought me this, bam, and he would break the records. But now they won't allow them to do what they do, and that's break records.
Yeah, it's a different thing now. As you got something in there called politics right now that
Yeah,
controls all of that. So it's not a lot we can do about that right now. But
and
you
I
know,
think that because they're allowing the garbage to be played and allowing good music to pass on by.
yeah,
Our people grew up on good music. I grew up on good music. My mother grew up on good music. I know who Sam Cooke is. I know who Otis Redding is. I know who Billie Holiday is. That's the type of music we grew up on. Music has always been good for our people.
right, right.
You
Indeed.
know what I'm saying? Yes, it's always been our food to have good music. You could have a bad problem that they would come put on your music, and you know it makes the day better. It
Right.
makes life better. Music makes life better. Other
Indeed.
people do something, they in love, they out of love, you know what I'm saying, they want to have fun. You know, if you stay within those quarters there, you're keeping people happy, you're keeping souls happy.
Right. I
You
always
bring,
say music is therapy. And,
yes, it,
you know, when it comes to that, you know, you just gotta, you know, I always say music is therapy and feel the beat, you know. So between those two things, that's how
yeah,
I explain music. So
yeah.
we got another DJ here that I want. I know he might have a question. I think he might be here. I see his photo. DJ Big Said, he was the one that we were talking to, just mentioning about in H-Town that
Right.
was saying, hey, you know what, this could be Southern Soul. So
Mm.
we'll see if he's coming, if he's here or not, or he might be tied up.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of them were at work at one time. But oh, there we go. Big Set.
Okay.
How you doing? Hello.
Hi.
How you
How are
doing?
you? I'm doing fine, enjoying the conversation with you guys.
No doubt. I just got in. I caught the tail end. I was at work, but it is a pleasure to meet you and hear about the past. And you mentioned my cousin's name, actually, Larry Graham. You know, Graham Central
Yeah,
Station. That was pretty
yeah,
cool. And
that's good. I
yeah,
love him. I
yeah,
just, I love the jam. The jam is just like the ultimate funk song to me, you know?
no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, like I said, it's great to be in the presence of greatness, and just continue to just keep blessing us with music, and you know, I'm just thankful just to be here, you know. So
I'm thankful to be here too. You know, 2020 ain't been good to none of us with this virus and all of this stuff going on. And
yeah,
my mom was in a bad car accident in December, so
mhm.
it's at the hospital. Thank God we got her out before this virus stuff hit, and she's doing much better day
Good.
by day. So yeah, I just pray for the families out there and want people to still protect themselves and protect your family, because this thing ain't gonna go away no time soon, and just be on the on the safe side with your family. You know?
Right. Right.
Doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But you think I got a little Southern soul going on in there? Y'all know I'm from South Carolina, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, when I heard it immediately, that's what I was like. That's a Southern Soul cut right there. You know, you gotta play that South. You know? So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm from right here. These
Hmm.
precious, precious, all of those songs I grew up listening to. Oh my God, Jesus, my head is so full of music and people. Uh, but I'm glad that makes me feel happy to know, maybe I'm a little Southern soul here, you know. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna be bringing some remakes back from some of the artists from the past,
yeah.
like Miss Millie Jackson and
You
some other.
mentioned Millie Jackson. I was thinking I cry. I was like, you need to do a remake of that. I would love to see that.
What?
Yeah, I would love to see you do a remake of Millie. That song in particular.
Which one?
I cry.
I cried. Okay, I'm about to pull that one up again. I
Mm-hmm.
like her so good, and it's a couple of them I like on her though. She's an amazing artist and a
Yeah.
pleasant person when you meet her. She'll still curse you out though, but she's not sweet to me. She'll curse you out in a minute. The
Yes,
tiny
ma'am.
woman. Look at this here. She just she just did something to my heart that day. Just to be that close, being a little girl listening to what I could listen to. My mother wouldn't let me listen to everything, but the songs that I really liked, she would listen to them first and tell me which ones I could listen to.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I would learn them like that. But those women from that time period, from the 60s and the 70s and early 80s, a lot of the R&B stuff was really really good for our people.
Yes, ma'am.
Really good. Yeah, really good for our people. I don't know what happened. They took the ball out of DJ's hand. They done messed up everything.
Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
do our best to try to get it back. That's for sure.
They got them out there calling each other bitches and hoes and craziness. What is this? Where did that go with? Oh, God. And they played it. They say that's what they love. I said, oh my God.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
got, yeah, we got to get back to some real love, you know. And I thank God, that you guys have been in my corner, and hopefully we all stay friends and keep putting good music out there, you know.
Indeed, indeed. So now we got another DJ for you.
Okay.
He's a primary admin of the group, DJ Rod Flash.
Hey,
Rock.
Cheryl the Pearl.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm gonna answer some of your questions that you had about the DJs not breaking records anymore. Reason
Okay.
why DJs can't break records anymore because the record companies is paying these radio stations the program the records that just play these same 20 or 30 records that you hear every day, all day on the radio.
Right.
And
Right.
my thing is, it's good to talk to somebody I grew up listening to.
Mhm.
And I try to educate people sometimes because I always say, who is Angie B of the sequence?
Right.
And which I know is Angie Stone.
Right.
And this lead me to say, I seen y'all in Philly last summer.
Okay.
It was on Baltimore Avenue. Angie brought y'all out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was a pleasure talking to you. I ain't going to hold up too much people's time, but it was a pleasure talking to you and to listen
It's a,
to some of the people I grew up spinning.
it's a pleasure talking to you too, and always talk your truth because you're telling the truth. You know, they come in and they're dominating. They're not allowing unless the DJs speak for themselves, the ones that do speak for themselves and do what they want to do with their music. They can't just put them on a payroll and make them play it like that. But they got radio locked, so we got to go around the mountain in order to make something good for happen. And we got a lot of great artists out there. A lot of great artists, you know.
Exactly.
They got to be open for new music to be able to hear the new music. Because I got some kids that's amazing. And I tell you,
But
major conscious rappers, and I mean just straight up, will make you feel what they saying. You know.
But my thing is, I think they do this deliberately to keep these kids dumb.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, Tell? Like, they keep them dumb. Like,
Yeah.
a song like WAP. You playing that on the radio. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But you ain't playing no Public Enemy or no conscious rap or nothing that's giving these kids some sort of education or nothing. You just want to keep them dumb.
They want. Thank you. Thank you. And they want to keep them doing what they want them to do. See, when another thing I have to touch bases on is Sylvia and Joe Robinson. Sugar Hill Record is the first black-owned record label to do what it did. Rap comes from our culture of people. And so now when other people got to put their fingers in and then start saying that they can make so much more money from the right artists is that if they get the right ones, they push them like they want to push them and let them make some money. Either they're puppets on the string or they running their shit like Jay-Z and some of the other ones out there that is over that, you know, over the threshold, billionaires or whatever from the hip-hop thing and from the different investments and stuff that's going on out there. But they do pull young girls in, and these young girls are telling me, Miss Cheryl, we don't want to rap with them because they do this, that, and the other. We don't want nothing to do with that. We just want to be able to do what we do and compete without having to go through showing everything. So that's one of the reasons, too, why I just say, well, I'm going to bring my company over, open this company up, and I'm going to allow some of these females that want to come through this game and do their thing on a professional level come through, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Doors to come through, you know, and doors. And like I say, I'm not the industry. I do music. I service DJs. That's all Cheryl gonna do. Cheryl don't manage nobody. I will point you in the right direction of people that can help you get to another place. But I'll be glad when the DJs are making that decision of what is a hit and what is not anymore.
Right. Exactly.
You
And
know,
speaking of females here, we got a female DJ in here right now. We have several. We have one, two. We had three, but now we're down to two.
there's Lisa.
This first female DJ, DJ Lisa Love.
That's my part. That's one of my friends. New
DJ
York.
Lisa Love. What's up?
What's up,
Hey, New
baby? What's up,
How you
sugar?
doing?
All right, and you? Yeah, we've been friends for a while. You know, I got love for you, and I just want you to
No,
continue doing what you do, baby.
thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Yeah, we
Lisa.
talk a lot, so you know what I mean. It ain't nothing.
Yeah,
So just
always
keep
been
doing
here.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm gonna see you when I come back to New York.
All right, you already know. I'm gonna pick you up. All
Okay.
right, I love you, sis.
Love you too, baby.
All
Be
right, too.
good.
You as well. I'm here. We just all listening. I ain't going nowhere. All right. All right.
And then thanks, Lisa Love. And then we have DJ Big Body.
Big body.
Good evening. I don't have any questions. I'm just here to say continue doing what you're doing. Much success out
Thank
there.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And then we have DJ Danny T.
Danny T.
Hey, Cheryl.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing good. Nice to talk to you. We've been chatting on and off for past few years.
Right,
um,
right.
so always
I see your name all the time.
right. Appreciate it. And it's an honor to talk to you. You know, I've just to hear everyone from that era, just to talk about y'all experiences. You know, I love to hear all the stories and fill in all the gaps and everything. So it's an honor to talk to you.
Thank you, thank you. I hope I filled in some of the gaps. You know, it's so much more that's going on in my head and craziness of different things. But like I said, the DJs played a big role in the sequence music
Right.
back then. I know, you know, because that's what I was told. Joe was arguing with people on the phone. Hey, this nigga won't put the record on, da 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 da. And you know, it was really upset him and this. So when he called me and said, you know, Cheryl, come here because you're gonna own your own company one day. Sing music to the DJs. DJs break records.
Right.
And I never forgot it. I think I was 19 years old. I just never forgot it. So every time they teaching me something, I would go in the promotion office with Donna and the girls that was pushing the music, and they would let me talk to the DJs on the phone. Come here, Cheryl, talk to this DJ. So I just got used to, you know, doing the office part of it, the business part in that way, and learning, because my grandmother said, if you can't get out the contract, you learn as much as you can, because that you could take with you anywhere you go, sure. So Sugar Hill became my school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ms. Robinson became my mentor. She was the one that will allow me to go in and record whatever I wanted to record. Then she teamed me up with her son Joey, and me and Joey started doing the West Street Mob stuff and different, I would have different things that I would have my hands into at Sugar Hill. But y'all know, as the years have gone by, they've tried to sweep us up under the rug like we don't exist. But it's okay. They can tell as many stories as they want to, but the truth is the truth.
Right.
Nothing but the truth, and you can sweep till you're blue in the face, but I'm gonna talk about it. You know.
Right.
I'm not gonna make it out to be the worst time in my life, because it wasn't. I was working at a hot dog stand on top of college and making $3.45 an hour. I went from making that to making $500 for 10 minutes on stage, $1,500 for 15 minutes on stage, and then the money kept going up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kept going up. So we would, to us being Southern girls, where, you know, my grandfather did many things to bring money home and put food on the table. So to be able to make that type of, I got $500 for 10 minutes on stage. It takes my grandfather a whole week to make this money.
Right. Yeah.
on top of his job, his outside stuff he does, because he's handyman, he does this, that, and the other, he sell out the truck, his car. Daddy doing everything to make ends meet. So my grandma, when you get there, if you're making more than we making down here, you send money here. You send money back home, sure. So every stop we had, I had cards. If we made $500, I sent $250 back to my grandmother. If we made $1,000, I sent $500 back to my, because my grandmother and my grandfather was like the head of everything, And then I always kept something aside for my mother. Put money in the car for my mother, and I kept the money basically what I needed to live off of it. The rest of it was for my family to be able to live off of it.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yep. That sounds great. And like I said, congratulations on your, new label. And I'm glad you're passing on the how the business supposed to treat you to the people on your label. So
bad to the wrong people. How you gonna be bad to the DJ?
Yeah.
How you go stupid? That don't, the way that they thinking is not it. So I'm gonna beat them at their game, but I'm gonna beat them at their game doing it old school style.
Right. Yeah. That's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I'm gonna creep up on them, and I don't want their help. I don't want them to tell me how to do it. I already know how to do it.
Right.
I take help from people that are coming with genuine hearts, but I only deal with certain people, and I try to keep my circle small because the people that are around me, when they say they can do something, they can do it. I don't have to double check. Everybody know we're going in the same direction. Working on a radio station, Black Bottom Entertainment Radio. Working on a television station, Black Bottom Entertainment TV, and network or whatever, and a social media site, another social media site, because I got 5,000 people, I think, on my page, and I have to delete sometimes every other day to let other people in. But when you post out there, I think it ain't but 5 or 10% of the people see your posts.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So what's the idea of allowing people to have 5,000 people if 5,000 people ain't getting what you put out there?
Right.
That's
and
true.
then every time I start to share posts about what's really going on in the world, they want to put me in jail, Facebook jail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get away from that and find something I can be comfortable on that allow me to have as many people as I want to have and allow each one of those people to get whatever messages that I'm sending out there. That's the type of site I want to restructure and rebuild and see what happens with it,
Right.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thanks. Yep.
So before I call this next DJ, we did have DJ Silent Professor in here, and
Okay.
he had to drop off, but he said he appreciates the visionary that Cheryl the Pearl is and the major contributions she's done for the women in hip hop. Salute to you and continue to create those opportunities for those that need it. So that's a salute to you.
Thank you. Tell him I said thank you so much.
Will do.
Great talking to y'all,
And then we have DJ Silent Professor. I'm sorry, not Silent Professor, DJ Mike L.
Mike L.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi,
Salute,
Mike.
salute to the pioneer and the road.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good, and you?
I'm okay. God is good.
I got one question. You might not want to answer this.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you work with a new artist of today?
Well, I work with the new artist of today.
Yes.
Yes, I have no problem as long as that stuff is not dirty like some of the other stuff I see out there. If it's a song that makes sense or rap thing that makes sense, of course I would like that. That's no problem.
Now,
You
would
know?
it have to be like an official artist or like up and coming artist? Would you work with an up and coming too?
Yes, up and coming. Yes. Yes. Because
Okay.
I teach everybody that's around me. I teach them different things, and so as long as an artist, let me put it like this: a guy told me, "Yo, I got started, sure, but you every now and then I got to push him." And this, then I'm looking at him like you're crazy. I'm like, you don't have to push a winner. You don't have to push an artist that know that that's what they do. That's what they want to do for the rest of their life. And you can't compare this one to that one if that one is on point. So you got a lot of young people coming up that's on point and is extremely good at what they do. And I don't have no problem if they want to collab with Cheryl the Pearl. That's what we do. That's what we do. As long as we agree on it and everything, paperwork, everything is good, we good. You know?
Yep, and big shouts out to Prince because I've been around him for a long time. He's a pretty good DJ.
Yeah, precise.
He got it on. He got South Carolina on lock.
Oh yes, that's my dude. He's like a friend to me. You
Right.
know? Yeah. Been on ice for years, you know. And a couple of them around there. I think they got Chub Rock down here too. I haven't
Yeah,
gotten a chance to
I
go
was
up there
running
to see.
Columbia and Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina. I didn't get a chance to go up to see Chubb Rock because this virus and stuff came back
Oh,
from New York. This virus and stuff started kicking in, and
right.
so my thing is to protect my moms, and we
Exactly.
just make sure my mom's is straight,
Great.
and I'll deal with that a little later on. But I think Chubb Rock is here. There's a couple good DJs down here. My
Right.
niece is out there. I'm not out there like that, but I know the ones that make decisions.
Oh yeah. But that's all I have for you.
Sit.
Yeah, he said that was all he had. And then we got DJ Michael E. DJ Michael,
Michael,
what's up?
is he there?
He's at work.
He's at work. Oh, okay. And now he typed something in the chat box. He says, "I'm sending my best wishes on the new Black Bottom Record Company. Keep the art alive."
Thank you. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Keep it alive, you know. Y'all gonna hear some of this other stuff that I got coming, and you're gonna be like, okay, she's on some real stuff here. All of it is music that you can listen to, and you could go home and just still listen to it and be like, okay, I like that, you know. Not toot my horn, but I got over the years, I just didn't stop writing, even though I came out of the industry. I didn't stop creating, and I didn't stop writing songs and writing gospel stuff, spiritual music, whatever the music, whichever way it led me. They all came out great.
Cool.
Some songs are older than some of y'all here. I got songs 30 years old. So, yeah, but when you hear them, you would say, oh, my God, this song is so, yeah.
Nice.
You know, nobody's ever heard them. So, and I know Miss Robinson passed, and Miss Robinson had some wonderful work that never got the opportunity to come out because she used to sit and play her guitar and sing me her songs. And I'm like, why don't you put that out? That's it, you know. But she didn't want to be an artist anymore, and she's like, I just play with it, sure, you know, but I continued to write over the years. I didn't stop writing.
Gotcha,
You know.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we got another gentleman in here who he he works with a lot of female MCs. And as a matter of fact, his website is just at femalemcs.com. General Taylor, I don't know if you've ever heard of him before, but he's also from up north. General Taylor, you got anything you want to say?
No, good job. Keep on doing it. I hope that I can work with you with some of these young ladies that I have that are on the website. A lot of them are looking for deals, and you look like you would be a great mentor and teacher and really show them the ropes, because that's what I'm trying to show them, you know?
Okay. Well, what we do is, after I get situated, let's get my mom situated, I will call DJ Square, and we'll arrange to see what we can do to help.
Okay, that sounds beautiful.
Okay? That we can do.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, we'll set up a day where we can talk, and then we can listen, and I can see how I can help them. Okay?
All right. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And keep on pushing.
I sure will.
Well, I think I've covered all the DJs, and I'm on behalf of the DJ Information Group. I will say that you are definitely a pleasure, and it's definitely an honor to have you, and for you to come in and speak to us about the history of the sequence, and to let us know about that, and talk about some of the names, like I said, of the artists that, you know, we as DJs, like, you know, Spoonie G, when he came out with Love Rap, we was scratching that like crazy, you know, just to give you an example, you know. So, you know, just, and then of course, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, all of them, you know. So just really, really cool to know that you were right there with them in the midst of it all, you know.
Female, they were very protective of us. All of them were very, very protective. I think we had like three bus loads full. The sequence always was with the Sugar Hill Gang bus. And the other, the Funky and all of the Furious, those guys would, and the Treacherous, everybody will break down on whatever bus they want to break down, they want to get on. But the sequence stayed on the Sugar Hill Gangs bus, and every last one of them are big brothers or brothers to us. They were very respectable to us. They respected us 100%. We used to have water fights out there and throw waters on their bed and run back in our room and do all kind of crazy stuff, but having fun, you know. And I can never, ever remember any of those guys ever not treating us like the ladies that we were, and we carried ourselves a certain way. So they respected us, you know.
That's beautiful. That's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, we've touched pretty much everything that we wanted to hit in terms of from way back then to your current projects to your company, your label, which we definitely hope you have great success and wish you great success.
Thank you.
You know, and anything that, you know, we can do to help, of course, you know, just please let us know, because like you say, for decades, you know, there was a period where, you know, the DJ was removed from that whole chain of events of getting the music out there, you know. And that was because, like I said at the beginning when we were talking, and Flash kind of delve into it a little bit more, but where, you know, it's all about the politics. You know, the big conglomerates, they go to the radio stations and say, hey, you're not going to play this song, you're going to play these songs, and we're going to give you the money for these songs, but, you know, and you can't play anything else, you know. So then, you know, you walk in the studio of today and you look on the screen, and literally all those songs are programmed into the screen to where you're just hitting and you're playing those. And you may have only, and those songs are on the roster for play multiple times throughout the day. And instead of
Yeah.
that, where during, you know, if the song has to be played 5 times a day, if you were able to just remove one of those songs from that slot, one of those repeats from that slot, and add in a new artist, you know, just think of the difference that would make in terms of get breaking music and everything. But different times, different world, is how I
Right.
always say it now. You know, it's just one of those things. But I like what you're talking about with your company. And you know, like I say, I wish you great success with that, and hopefully you're able to ring some bells
I hope so.
with some of these other companies, and make them see that music, good music, you know, something, put it out here for people to be enlightened, because Flash did mention another thing is it's designed these days to dumb us down. And
Yeah.
if you're not conscious enough to understand what is happening, you fall into that pot. You know, it's just like another artist we had, and the guy was interviewing, and he said, if you got this one glass of water and it's a dirty glass of water, and that's the only glass of water that's there, and everybody's looking at that glass of water, eventually somebody's going to drink that glass of water. And that's because
Right.
that's the only thing that they have. And that's the same situation that's happening today, where we're being fed, you know, especially the younger generations are being fed this stuff that they hear today, and that's the only thing that they hear. That's why everything sounds the same, everything has that same cadence, you know, and you know it is. And the other flip side of that is, we know the music is not made for us. It's kind of like when
Right.
we were coming up, our parents used to say, cut that mess off, you know, whatever. So we totally understand that part, but it wasn't a brainwashing kind of situation as it is today, you
There
know.
you go. There
um,
you go.
it definitely makes great sense when we hear that, you know, you give us hope, to the fact of that, you know, that change is coming, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I don't
Right.
need to break out Otis Redding, or, you know, and start singing. You know what I'm saying? Change is coming.
Oh,
Uh,
come.
but, you know, it's just really good to hear. And it's truly a pleasure and an honor to have you here today. Um,
Thank you.
and you please let us know. And of course, you have my number, and I will
I,
definitely be checking in on you. And we wish your grandmother, you said your mom or your grandmother that you're moving,
mother.
your mother that
Yeah.
you're moving. We
Yeah.
wish you success with that as well, because we know what moving is like. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
So
you. Oh, y'all down here. Come here, people.
yes, we wish you well with that, and get that all done so you can get you some rest, kick your feet up, and
Okay.
you might even break out the paper and the pen and pad again and get going some more, you know.
There
So
you go. Other stuff, nothing.
yes, indeed. So we really appreciate you. Now, at the end of, you know, as we get to the end of the interview, I always say, and we got DJ I95. He just sent a message. He says, "Salute to a legend and keep doing what you do." And then, of course, same thing with DJ Swerve. He sends you a big salute as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And what you know, I always ask this question, and you've kind of touched on it a little bit, and that is, do you have any homework for us?
Take your spot back. Y'all the people.
Yeah.
Y'all got the power. It's more DJs in this radio station. Y'all have the power to take it back. You know, y'all have the power to select music that influences other artists to be better artists, you know. But it takes one day at a time, because when they change things, when they change the direction of this hip hop game, with you got the gangster music, you got the trap music. Hip hop got different layers besides the beginning of hip hop. And if we want better music, if you got kids, you got nieces and nephews, when I can't turn the radio on and my moms can listen to something nice on the radio, I gotta keep turning my radio off. I don't really listen to it like that anymore. I just like being creative and coming up with new stuff to make people think and make people fall in love or make people feel good through the music, feel good music.
Right.
And we got to get back to it. Y'all got the power. Y'all got the power. They got the money, but y'all got the power to change things.
Well, we really appreciate that, and that's definitely something that's food for thought for sure. And putting
Yeah.
it in that perspective, it definitely
Yeah.
opens up, And one thing that we have learned is during this pandemic, especially with the Zoom parties and everything, about how many, I would
Right.
literally say hundreds of thousands of DJs
Right.
on Facebook and on social media, just doing something just to stay busy in their craft. So
Right.
you're absolutely right in that sense for sure. So
Yeah.
definitely food for thought, and
Yeah.
we would definitely do that. And so you got that. You said you're working with some artists.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to seeing your next projects. From artists. Please let us
Okay.
know.
I should.
Get that released, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
And let me see. General Taylor just asked a couple questions. I will send that out to you,
Okay.
and that way we can all work that out as well. So,
Okay. What?
but yeah, we just want to thank you again. Sorry for the technology issues there, but nonetheless,
Okay.
we got you on here, and that's
Okay.
the most important thing, because
Right.
we definitely wanted
I'll
to
wait
have you here, Cheryl the Pearl. We wanted to have you in here.
Thank you,
So,
sir.
thank you,
anytime.
thank you.
I'm here for y'all anytime you call me. I'll be here. Okay.
You got it. You got it.
You got it.
So I'm going to close it out by saying this to you. Um, like I said, totally an honor, totally a blessing. The DJ Information Group has truly, truly been blessed. And we are honored to have the legendary from the sequence, the female herself, Cheryl the Pearl. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for telling us the story. Thank you for sharing the history. Thank you
Thank you.
for everything, and bringing the facts. And like you said, you're going to tell the truth. And guess
Yes.
what? Because you tell the truth, you only have to say it once. So that's a
There
beautiful
you
thing.
go. There you go. You have a wonderful night, okay?
Yes, you take care as well.
Okay. I'll be
All right.
good.
Be
Thank
good. Take
you.
care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.